So due to stress, we lose our natural breath process. Instead, most adults are chest breathers. So excited, I forgot them. So I was saying, this part usually soft. Okay? When you inhale, check if it's soft. If it's not soft, if you can't do this, that means your diaphragm hasn't moved down. Okay? That means you're not getting enough air as you could. Okay? Most adults breathe up here into the chest. And most adults breathe like this. I'll go back to this later. Most adults are doing this. Okay, I'll tell you why later when we talk about anatomy of breathing, we'll see that again. Um, but when you breathe into your chest, what happens is the shoulders come up. So most people 24/7, what muscle is in charge of this? You already know what it is. Do you remember? Trip. Okay. Yeah. Of everywhere will be soft. So open. Immediately fix that because now there's a lot available to you. If you want, you can do this if you want, or you can do that because you need to listen within and find what works for you. That's why I never say should be here, should be there, because that's gonna screw someone. Okay? So we're talking again about being inclusive yoga teachers and not exclusive, meaning everyone will have fun in your class, not just the people that look like you. Okay? Right. Anatomy of breathing, page 95. I ate really spicy nasi goreng this afternoon, so I'm kind of fiery. I'm like, okay. So you might hear it. Okay. Anatomy of breathing. Let's look at the first picture. You all have that? The top of the page. You've got the inhale and the exhale, and what happens ideally to your torso. So let's look at breathing in. Chest does what? Expands. So your rib cage opens like shutters. The diaphragm goes which way? Up or down? Down. Where's the diaphragm? Here. Between your ribs. So one rib, the other rib. Why do we need to breathe oxygen? What does oxygen do for our body? Does anyone know? Page 96, if you want to know the answer. Maintains your cells because the mitochondria of your cell needs oxygen to produce energy. This is the real physical food of the body. Because how long can you go without breathing? How long do you think you last if you stop breathing? Yeah, a couple of minutes. Wow, that's really precise. 17. Yeah, I think. Who said? Ah, Manish said 17 minutes. Oh, okay. Without breathing. They can actually go till 45. Without breathing, yeah. Normal people, I'm talking about you and me. I'm not talking about yogis in the middle. Medically, if you stop breathing for how long, they will pronounce you dead. It's 10. If you don't breathe for 10 minutes, that's it. Okay? Unless they're doing CPR on you. But if no one's doing CPR on you and it's been 10 minutes, that's it. Okay? So how long can you last without food? Yeah, a couple of days, a month maybe if you got lots of reserves. You last a bit. So breathing is more vital to you than you know. Eating. Okay. Okay. Most of our energy requirements comes from the air we breathe. And purifying the blood has effects throughout the body, even making your skin look younger. Okay. Why do we breathe through our nose? Mostly in pranayama, we use our nose. Why?
For many reasons. Air coming within, we have a lot of, I don't know the English term, but it's called in seni.
Yeah, the
And
sinuses.
yeah, and they have to make air like hotter also, and coming through the nose, you are actually filtering all like bacteria,
Yeah. So the
microbes.
nose is the filter for the air. Yeah.
It's also better to breathe through the nose because of cognitive functions. Our
Okay,
brain
yes.
works better if we breathe through the
Our
nose.
brain works better if we breathe through the nose because the nasal passages pass right under the brain. So when you're inhaling through your nose, you're actually giving your brain some stimulation. So yes. And it cleans the air. You breathe through the mouth, it doesn't clean the air. And breathing through the mouth, it's a bigger hole so that you cool down the body when you breathe through the mouth. Like in a winter country, when it's minus 40, are you going to do this? No, right? You'll freeze your lungs. Okay, so that's why we breathe through the nose in yoga. We inhale through the nose and we exhale through the nose. There's more control because the holes are smaller. And as you said, it stimulates the brain. Okay, so if someone will come up to you in yoga class and ask you, how come we use the nose? How are we supposed to breathe in yoga? You inhale through the nose, you exhale through the nose. Unless in some pranayamas you use your mouth. But mostly it's the nose. In Hatha Yoga, when you're doing asana, you're using your nose to inhale and exhale. Except when you're having a drama moment and it's too hard and you go, but usually, it's your nose. Hello, yeah. Okay. Yes.
Through the nose and out through the nose.
Yes, unless, as I said, got this overwhelming sensation inside your body that you just want to let go of, then you can exhale through your mouth. Because sometimes that happens, poses trigger something inside of you, and all of a sudden, right? You've been in the pigeon for like 5 minutes. And by the fourth minute, you're going, because there's just so much stuff coming up. That's okay. Okay, remember, we need to give ourselves some way of dealing with usually we keep the mouth closed. Okay. So on page 97, you'll see how the diaphragm looks when it's at rest. It's like a parachute. You see that? Like a parachute. And attached to various processes in your torso. The first part it's attached to is the sifting process of the sternum. See the little triangle piece at the bottom between the two rib bones? The little triangle piece here. Right here underneath. The little triangle. Some people don't have one. Some people have one. Okay, so the diaphragm is connected to that. It's also connected to the costal cartilages of the lower six ribs. So if you press your lower ribs, they kind of bend a little here in front, not behind. In front, they kind of bend a little because they're cartilage. And then behind here, they're solid. But if you press your upper ribs, they don't bend at all because they're bone. So the lower six ribs in front here are cartilage, and the diaphragm is connected to them. And the first three lumbar vertebra. So the strings of the parachute, so this is the parachute, there are strings of the parachute connected to L1, 2, and 3. So if we look in Rama for L1, 2, and 3, that's the upper part of the lumbar spine. Right here. Your diaphragm connects there. Your diaphragm is connected here. And your diaphragm is connected here. So those are the bits of you that are holding your diaphragm. And when your diaphragm contracts, the strings tug, the parachute gets inverted into like an umbrella, upside down. And that's how your lungs fill with air. So if it's connected to L1, 2, and 3, how low do you think the diaphragm goes? How low do your ribs go? Check to see how low your ribs go. Find the end of your ribs. If it's connected to the costal cartilages of your ribs, it's going to go that low. Where do your ribs end? Right above the belly or at the belly. So you've got a lot of room to breathe under normal circumstances if you choose to do so. Okay? Okay. So when they're more mobile, your rib cage is more mobile. Just like your hamstring makes your leg more mobile or tight. Okay? We have muscles between the ribs that do this. The more flexible they are, the more you can open. That's why you look at how big Iyengar's rib cage is. He wasn't born like that. He developed it. Okay? Through breath work and through asana. Forward bends will stretch the back. And there are muscles that lift the rib cage in the back. Okay, there's the serratus posterior, a couple of other muscles that lift the rib cage behind you. And when you bend forward, you're stretching those. Okay? Back bends help to stretch the front of your rib cage. And the more your ribs can stretch, see how mobile your rib cage is. Let me make you do something. So you're going to inhale and see what happens to your ribs. Can your ribs go out on the inhale like this? How far can they move apart? So put your fingers here on the sides of your ribs and take your fingers together. Now what you don't want to do is arch. That's cheating. Back should remain straight. Okay, so everyone bend the knees and just point the tailbone at the floor. Now only using the expansion of the ribs. See how far your fingers go from each other. And then exhale. Look at my fingers, even overlapping. So I'll exhale. Okay? Again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Go a little higher. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Go a little higher. This part's tricky. It's getting trickier, yeah? Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay. The first time I tried this, my ribs weren't moving at all. Which means what? That means that your muscles of the ribs need stretching. How do you stretch them? Yes. Okay, yes, question.
Does it mean the more flexible a ribcage is, the deeper I can breathe in and out? And does it have something?
Yes. No, it has something to do with your lung capacity is set, but you won't be able to explore your full lung capacity if your ribs don't move.
So that means that maybe I'm only using 80% of my lungs
Yes.
because the ribcage is not stretched.
Yes. The more stretch you have in your rib cage, the my dear, you can stand if you want. Or is your back hurting? Your stomach. Go ahead and stand if you want, if it feels better. Yeah, no problem. Or even lie down sometimes if it's really. You know, we need to chat, yeah? Okay. Okay. So, yes, you can breathe deeper if your lungs can move. Ribs, if your ribs can move. Okay, and that's why twists, back bends, and forward bends help to improve your breathing. Okay, aside from this, okay, the diaphragm is also connected basically to all organs, both above and below the diaphragm area. For example, okay, I'm gonna bring Rama out. Hang on. Okay, so this is where the diaphragm sits when it's at rest. Then when it inflates, it goes down like that and comes back. Okay, this isn't really accurate because a person's rib cage is much bigger than this. Yeah, your rib cage is quite long. The lumbar spine here, this is not a realistic lumbar spine. Our lumbar spine is only around that short. Okay, our thoracic area is longer. But anyway, you get the picture. What's right here? What's here? The heart. The bottom of the heart, near the xiphoid process, is connected to the diaphragm. So right here, behind this triangle thing. And when the diaphragm moves, the heart gets like a massage. Okay? What sits under here? What's down here? Stomach. That's why when you go to brunch and you overeat in Dubai, the brunches are famous for stuffing you. Like you know, they'll have to put you in a wheelbarrow and kind of cart you away. You can't breathe. Have you ever eaten so much as a kid that you can't breathe? Yeah. Because your stomach's right below here, and when you feel the stomach too much, the diaphragm can't move, yeah? The stomach's also connected to the diaphragm. So when you take a belly breath, your stomach gets a massage, and so does your liver. And maybe even your spleen, because it's right next to the liver. And even the small intestines and the large intestine, because it's right underneath. And when the stomach gets pushed down, the intestines, instead of being like this, they go like that. So your whole internal system is getting a massage when you breathe properly. And so blood circulates better in your vital organs. Logically, now you see why breathing properly has a profound impact on your health. And that if the diaphragm is not moving, none of this is happening. And you're only breathing up, so the only thing getting stimulated is your heart, and it gets overstimulated. That's why one of the side effects of anxiety is what? Heart palpitations. Because there's too much stimulation on your heart and not enough down here. Yes, you're going to say something?
Yeah, but here in the asanas, we're not using the belly breathing.
No, we're not.
Yeah, so
But you can still use the diaphragm. We'll talk about it once we go through the muscles of breathing. Then we'll do a little talk on Mula and Uddiyana Bandha. And then this is a good question, how to breathe in asana.
and
Yeah.
in daily life, we should breathe into our belly.
Sometimes, yes. When you are at rest, yes. Like if I'm sitting down now, I'm actually breathing a full torso breath, including the belly. But if I were to go for a run, obviously I wouldn't. Okay? We'll talk about that, how to breathe in asana. It's an important point. Okay. So now, the major motor nerve to the diaphragm is the phrenic nerve, and it drops down from cervical vertebra 3, 4, and 5, the middle of your neck, drops down and powers your lungs. Okay? So the diaphragm is a muscle. Muscles only contract one way. For example, this is your bicep. We remember the bicep from yesterday? And okay. So when you contract the bicep, it moves your lower arm towards your upper arm. How does your arm move the other way? Because the tricep, so the tricep moves your arm the other way. If your tricep was damaged, your arm would be like this. Once I did that, I got drunk and fell over and hit something on the way down and tore my tricep. And I woke up in the morning and I couldn't straighten my arm. And I didn't know what happened to me till someone told me. But anyway, I know for a fact that if you tear your tricep, you can't straighten your arm. Okay, I just wanted to wake you up. Okay, so if muscles only move one way and the it contracts, that's the inhale. How does it move back up? Something else needs to contract to get the diaphragm to relax and move back up. The abdominals. Beautiful. Your abdominals are the muscles that will completely exhale you. Your abdominals will completely exhale you. Everyone stand up so you can wake up too. Let's let's uh let's deny what I've told you. Rubbish, Pili. Abs nothing to do with breathing. Okay, fine. Let's see. So what I want you to do is bend your knees and put your hands on your thighs. Okay. Now I want you to blow out all the air in you and squeeze your abs really tight. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Squeeze your abs really tight and hold the squeeze. Hold the squeeze, okay? Now breathe. How much can you breathe when you're holding the squeeze of your abs? Barely. Yes? So if the diaphragm is the major muscle of inhale, the abdominals are the major muscle of exhale. Now stand up and pretend you have anxiety. Squeeze your abs. Because you have anxiety. Squeeze your abs. Now breathe. That's all you've got. Now, what do you need to do to breathe? Now I can breathe. My neck's going to get tight. I'm going to get heart palpitations. Okay? All right. Yeah, sit down. Yeah. Diaphragm inhales you. Major means that there are other muscles that help. Not just the diaphragm. These are the major guys. But there are other muscles that help. So let's turn to the next page so we can see the muscles of respiration. Page 98. So we have the muscles of respiration on page 98. Aside from, so you can see there expiratory abdominals. You see that? By expiratory abdominals, we mean the rectus abdominis here, the six-pack muscles. We have the transverse abdominis, the belt muscle, and we have the obliques that drop the lower six ribs. Those, when they contract, will exhale you. But aside from that, look for something here called the expiratory intercostals. Those are the muscles between your ribs that pull each rib closer to the one next to it. So when you contract the expiratory intercostals, if you put your hand on your rib cage and you blow out all your breath and try to shut your ribs in and down, that's the contraction of the expiratory intercostals. And then we have the opposite muscles, the inspiratory intercostals, also between the ribs, but their job is to lift the ribs up. So if you put your hands on your rib cage and take a deep breath into your ribs, and you feel your ribs moving up, that's because of those. So the muscles that open and close the ribs, you can actually control them so that when you hold your breath, you're not using your glottis, you're using those muscles. Take a deep breath in and hold it. Most of you have shut the trap door here called the glottis. Hold it. Now let it go and exhale. Now if I told you to exhale really, really slowly, take a deep breath in, hold it. Now exhale really slowly. You will find that once you release this, you don't have the ability to control how you're exhaling. You become like a leaking balloon. But if you use the intercostal muscles to control the inhale and exhale and don't close this, then you have complete control over your inhale and exhale. Like this. So I'm inhaling. This is still open because I can still talk. I'm holding my ribs open. Now I'm exhaling. I'm holding my ribs closed. I'm not using this. Yeah.
So anytime we're doing a breath hold, we shouldn't be closing that.
When you're doing higher pranayama and I tell you inhale, hold, inhale, hold, exhale, hold, you're not holding from here, you're holding from here. Get it?
What? It's like this thing.
There's less control. It's not that it's good or bad. You can use it now if you want to. It's not going to affect you. But if you're when we start to do pranayama, next week and the week after that, it's going to get really crazy. Okay, your pranayama, when Evelina's got her hands on you, it's going to get really crazy. Now you know. Okay, we couldn't do that before because you don't know yet. Okay, all right. So, inspiratory and expiratory intercostals lift and drop the ribs. You've got the diaphragm, and you've got the expiratory abdominals. And now, we can learn about the sternomastoids and scalenes on the neck. Look at the muscles of the neck here. These are the muscles that are tight in most people because they're overusing them, because they're underusing the diaphragm and the lower part of the lung. So these muscles lift your second and first rib up so you can get the breath into the upper part of you. Whereas that's not a bad thing. It can be overused. You can overdo it. Okay? So where are your scalenes? If you relax one arm and you palpate yourself right behind the collarbone and you go sideways like this and you feel the guitar cord, the reason why it feels like guitar cord and it probably hurts a little is because you're overusing them. So relax your arm, go behind and just kind of go forward. You might even feel it down your arm. Those are your scalenes, and then you go a little bit to the side. There's some more here on the side. You might feel like you can feel it like tennis racket strings under your fingers. Those are the scalenes. Sternomastoids a little bit here, right here, near the notch of your collarbones. And again, it feels like guitar cord. For most people, they're overworked. In fact, what you're doing now is you're massaging them, even if it hurts. And that will help you feel better. If you lie down and do this to yourself, it's going to help you feel better. Okay. Or you can get someone to do it for you. Okay, so those are the muscles of inhale and exhale. So, when you inhale, which way does the rib cage go? Outward. When you exhale, which way does the rib cage go? Inward. So when I lift my arm, the rib cage can go out a little easier. When I drop my arm, the rib cage can't. When I drop my arm, the rib cage is going which way? In. So should I exhale or inhale when I drop my arm? Exhale because I don't want to contradict my body. Everyone raise your arms. Both arms. I gotta hold the mic. Both arms. Now inhale as you drop your hands. How's it feel? It feels weird because your ribs are like, well, what do you want? Do you want to breathe in or out? Because you're making me shut and you're trying to breathe. Now, exhale as you lift your arms. Ready? Stay here. Take a breath first. Exhale. Again, it feels weird because your rib cage is, well, which one do you want? Because you're opening me and we're breathing out. So what I'm trying to tell you is the rules of inhale and exhale for yoga classes can be summed up in one sentence. Don't contradict your breathing with your movement. Meaning, if my lungs are breathing in, I want to support that and not contradict it by getting my ribs to do an exhale. Yes.
In our class on Tuesday afternoon with Mummy, we were doing cat cow, and she had us do the opposite of what we're used to. Is there a reason for that, or was that incorrect?
Let me speak to her.
Because I asked her a couple of times, and she kept saying
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you. So, when your ribs are stretching open, that's an inhale. And when your ribs are rounding, that's an exhale. Yeah. Okay. So don't contradict your breathing with your movement. Rib cage inwards and downward. So like think of window shutters. Inspirals, drop them down. Like window shutters. Okay. All right. So let's look at what happens within our body when we inhale, whoops, or exhale. Can I get some help here? You have to fix this one first.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's look at what happens in the body when we inhale or exhale. And it will make more sense. Okay. Okay, let's make this a little fun. I can give you the answers and you can fall asleep. Or you can figure it out yourself. Okay. When you inhale or exhale, so you're going to figure this out yourself. Number 1. What happens to your shoulders when you inhale or exhale? Number 2. What happens to your upper arm when you inhale or exhale? Number 3. What happens to your chest when you inhale or exhale? Number 4. Okay? What happens to your back when you inhale or exhale? Okay? Number 5. What happens to your internal organs when you inhale and exhale. Number 6, what happens to your pelvic floor when you inhale or exhale? Find a group of 4 people and try to figure this out. Go. You have 10 minutes. Okay.
Figure out the body movements up and down.
Figuring out the body movements, yeah. So, how did it go this morning? What did you teach this morning for pranayama?
So pranayama, so Evelina gave me her schedule and we actually started getting into Vistrika.
Okay.
So it went a little more than just full yoga
Yeah.
breath. But,
Yeah.
so I taught them, we started with Ujjayi.
Let's talk here. Yes, yes.
Think about the baby is breathing.
No, check yourselves.
So ourselves.
But try to breathe the best you can. Okay.
Ujjayi,
Yeah.
went Vistrika, Nadi Shodhana.
Oh, yes, please.
Um,
Okay. Vastrika, Nadishodhana, Ujjayi, and the full yogic breath. Brahmari. Have you done Brahmari yet?
Yeah, just-
And Brahmari. Okay, good, good. Good, we're on schedule
yeah,
then.
that's
Yeah.
as much
Yeah.
as we've taught. And we did Kapalabhati yesterday.
Good. Okay.
Okay, upper arm.
How was the seated poses this morning?
It was pretty good. Yeah, I
Yeah?
had Nord helping me, and
Good.
I used him. I did a mix of both him and me.
Okay.
Worked pretty well. I'm trying to think. Oh, we're getting questions, and both Nord and I were getting a little confused on Paravrita Janu Shirtasana. And
Okay.
and then there's Parva Janu Shirtasana.
Parivrita Janusirsasana is you're rotating upward. Parsva Janusirsasana could be a different name for it, but they're probably the same.
And that's kind of what I was. People were asking me about the hip position because
Okay.
sometimes you drag more out.
That's for Parivrita Parsva Konasana. Because remember, your ribs and spine are turning this way. Yeah. It's because your ribs are turning this way. Your hips need to go the same way that you're turning. But when you're doing Janusirsasana,
Yeah,
the hips stay closed.
Okay.
Is that what you sort of told them?
No, and then we kind of decided that we were keeping the hips straight for that one, and then the other pose was
Yeah.
hips
It's like a
open.
warrior one, warrior two thing.
Right. So
Janusirsasana is like warrior.
Johnny
I have no idea.
Okay, because that was coming. I started googling. It was coming up, and I was like, I think they're like the same.
They're
and
the same.
Nord's like, no, let's keep the hips
Okay.
closed on this one and
Hip
open
is
on
closed
this one.
on Janusirsasana.
Yes, and then it.
Hip is open in Parivrita Janusirsasana.
Okay.
I don't know what Parsva Janusirsasana. I don't know what that is.
Because then he was like, "You're not really twisting, you're opening, so maybe it's Parjva." And I was
No.
like, "No, it's Paravita."
No.
And then we looked up Parjva, and then it was just
It's
stuff
the
was
same.
coming up, and I was like, "Okay, no Parjva." It's
No,
that
no.
one. All right.
Because the way we're doing Parivrita Janusirsasana, that's not the whole pose. If you kept going, your back would be on your leg. You'd be lying on your leg.
Aha.
But most people's ribs aren't that flexible, so we
Right.
just kind of look like this, but we're trying our best. No?
So then you need the open.
Yeah.
That was my one, like, oh.
Yeah, this is why. Yes.
Clarifying question.
Yes.
Are we answering like what do these things do just
To the
naturally?
inhale and the exhale. When you're inhaling, what happens to your shoulders? When you
But just
exhale,
naturally, or what should we be doing intentionally when we're in yoga?
no, just observe
Just
yourselves.
observe ourselves. Okay. And so, for example, like we could say, like the chest kind of comes out
Yeah,
that when we inhale,
when we inhale.
right? And the
Yeah.
back also goes out when we inhale. If that's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Otherwise, I'm finding my confidence in my voice.
Very good.
More and more.
It's your confidence that you need the most now. Because what's going to happen and what's already happening is people are comparing you to me.
Right.
And
I
you
know.
need to stand your ground and be confident because that's the only way that they will be able to see you.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah, I think
Because you
I'm
do know
stepping.
what you're doing. You do know. I can completely tell you know what you're doing. You just need the confidence behind
Yeah,
a
I
bit
think
more
every
of
day is easier, and I wasn't nervous at all last night.
good, good. I need to send Marina a message. There are a lot of complaints about her.
More so than just that.
What else? Did you attend her class
No, I
yesterday?
didn't see her class. I was thinking of maybe she's coming in today, but I didn't know if I'd even have room in here to
Yeah.
attend a class. This lesson is inspiring me to work on stretching my rib cage more.
Hi, maybe there's something wrong with the video camera. Let me check. Is this thing on? I think this morning we had internet troubles. To be like, I'm here to help you, not to be like. It's true, not to be liked. It's true, I'm here to help you. I don't care if you like me or not, but I'm here to help you.
And you're offering your help.
I don't have
You
to. I
don't.
can just leave her and have her get a bad review at the end of the course and fail, or she can just suck it up and improve.
So wait, you said I know who's the yoga teachers in here? I know Maria is, and in this class, you said people are yoga teachers
There's
already.
like 4 or 5 of them that are yoga teachers already.
Felina.
Yes. And also managing human beings' ego. Look at you, you're still at it. Sorry, but true.
Is she young?
Yeah. She's still answering back. Dude, get over yourself. I'm sorry, see the mic's on. I don't give a shit. Sorry. Okay. Are we done? Almost? Raise your hand if you're done with everything. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 groups are done. Don't forget this one, energy level. I'll give you 1 more minute. Yes. When can I get him?
As soon
Him
as
or her?
we think they're both hers.
Okay.
Um,
Can
we're
I
not
can I swing by tomorrow so that I can buy like
all the things
all the
that you need.
things that I
Yes.
need for her?
Okay.
So tomorrow morning I'll go to the store and buy cat food and place to poop and all this stuff.
Oh
And
yeah,
then,
tomorrow's our off day
yeah,
anyway. Yeah,
then I'll
perfect.
come and swing by your resort and I haven't been
The
there, so it's
resort,
nice to check it
it's
out.
a little place.
Where you live?
We're at
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, cool.
I'm so excited. We have a kitty.
I'm so excited too. I saw that right before I was about to. It's like, yay! I was like, this kitty is in for quite a spiritual journey.
Very cute. Very cute, the kitty. Very cute.
Yeah, perfect. And now we're looking the other one. Hopefully, maybe a friend can foster for now, or
Okay.
because we just can't keep. It's very
Yeah.
heavy too.
What are you feeding them?
Aaron's actually running out to get powdered milk right now, but we had some wet food from our other
Okay.
chickens.
Are they able to drink the milk on their own or they need someone to like syringe them?
I guess we'll see. I think they were able to drink water, so hopefully they'll be able
Okay,
to
they
drink
can drink the
milk.
milk. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so tiny.
Yeah. When we got a rescue cat as well in Dubai. We found him under the tire of a car. So we named him Axel. And he was
Oh,
that
that's so
tiny also.
cute. So cute.
Palm of the hand.
So your kids still have the kitten.
It's still in Dubai.
Still
He's
in.
huge now. He's like that. Okay. Let's get back. Let's get back as a group. Let's get back as a group. The big group, not the little group. Let's get back into one big group. And let's first discuss the shoulders. So when you inhale, what happens to the shoulders? Shoulders are doing what? Slightly up, slightly raise, slightly, not too much. You need to be honest, yeah? Slightly up. How many of you have slightly back? Slightly back. Slightly up and back. Out is back. Yeah, out, up and back. Okay. On the exhale, what happens to shoulders? Slightly down and in. Okay. Upper arm. That would be this. So what is the movement of the upper arm when you inhale? What happens to the upper arm? Outwards. If you talk about rotation, what kind of rotation is that? External. So what happens in the exhale? Internal. Okay. Let's deny this. So, everyone put your arms out like this. You know how eagle arms look, right? I want you to inhale as you go into eagle arms. Inhale as you do that. All right. Now keep your arms together. Take a breath. And I want you to exhale as you open to the side. Okay. Now we're going to do the opposite. Exhale into eagle. Inhale into cactus. Better, right? Okay, there we go. Okay. Now let's look at the chest. What happens to the chest when you inhale? Expands up and out. And what happens to the chest when you exhale? In and down. Chest drops in and down. Yes? Contracts. 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 Okay, so when we're going into a back bend, when I'm going to bend backwards, I'm going to lift my chest or go into a pose where I need to bend back. Do I inhale or do I exhale? I inhale as I bend back. And when I'm coming out of a back bend, do I inhale or do I exhale? Exhale. Because we don't want to contradict what our body is already doing. Now here's the interesting part. What is the back doing when you inhale? What happens when you inhale? What does your back do when you inhale? And what does the back do when you exhale? It expands when you inhale. How many of you got that? The back kind of feels like it's lengthening when you inhale. How about exhale? What happens to your back when you exhale? Drops. Contracts which way? Which way? Down. So we lengthen and then we ground, we settle. It goes down. But is there any movement in your back when you exhale? Slightly which way? Backwards. So it goes slightly. You feel that when you exhale, there's slight backwards. The chest drops. So the back actually kind of comes forward a little bit, just a little bit. Try it. See how the back kind of comes forward a little bit? Kind of does this. How many of you can feel that? Little bit of a dropping in and forward. That drops down, moves slightly, slightly forward. Very slightly because the chest is dropping. When I do a forward bend, should I inhale into forward bend or should I exhale? Exhale. Because that's what the body is doing when you exhale anyway. So when you do a forward bend, there's another reason why we do a forward bend on an exhale. What is the major muscle of exhale? The abdominals. What are the abdominals doing when you bend forward? They're contracting. Because the abdominals are contracting when you bend forward, it makes sense to bend forward on the exhale. And your back will stretch better if you exhale as you bend. If you try inhaling as you bend, your back will be doing the opposite. It's expanding. So you inhale first to expand, then as you exhale, you bend forward. Okay, now we're getting a little more subtle. So I'm going to erase these guys. Internal organs. What are the internal organs doing? They're getting a massage. Yeah, but how? Yeah, because I told you. But what did you feel when you're breathing in? What happens to them? Do they go up when you inhale or down? When you're, put your hands on your belly. Check in. Now take a deep breath. What's happening to your internal organs?
Expand.
They're expanding which way? Let me show you what they're doing. You tell me if it's correct, okay? Okay. This this is a diaphragm. This is your head. So this is your head. That's your head. This is the diaphragm. Okay, these are your ribs. This is the diaphragm. These are your abdominal organs. This is a diaphragm. You inhale. Your belly distends because your organs are getting pressed by your diaphragm. They're getting pressed. Your organs are getting pressed by your diaphragm. And that's why your belly goes out. Because they got to go somewhere. They're all getting mashed together. They have to go somewhere. Because the air is now here where they used to be. That's why the belly goes out when you inhale. Because your diaphragm is pressing your internal organs and they're kind of getting a little bit mashed.
So you say the belly goes out
So,
and the organ gets smashed.
yeah, the belly goes out because your organs are being smashed together. They're being compressed by the diaphragm and the air in your lungs on the inhale. So your internal organs are getting compressed, belly distends. So that's what it should be. So let me write it. Distends is a fancy way of saying it goes outwards. Okay? Then when you exhale, so exhale. So they're like, okay, so organs relax, belly retracts. Retracts means your belly goes back in. Yes? The diaphragm is the muscle that pulls on the lungs. The lungs cannot inflate themselves. There's a muscle, think of a syringe. Huh? Injection. When you're trying to put something in an injection, you have to pull to get the thing in. That's what the diaphragm does for your lungs. Okay, because your lungs cannot inflate themselves. They're just like the bag. And so you need to, so you can breathe. That's what the diaphragm does. Okay? Okay. Okay, now pelvic floor. Do you know what your pelvic floor is? Where's your pelvic floor? This is Rama's pelvic floor, where my hand is. If he didn't have a pelvic floor, all of his organs would be leaking out his butt. That's what a pelvic floor does. It keeps you together. Okay, it's down here. Keeps you together. Okay, so what happens to the pelvic floor when you take a deep breath? Up or down? Well, actually, it can do both. It can either go out or it can go up. But what we want in yoga is we want the pelvic floor to go up on the exhale and out on the inhale. If you're trying to have a baby, If you're trying to have a baby and you're a yoga teacher or yoga practitioner, this is important. Most of the time, the pelvic floor in yoga, we're doing inhale. No, we're doing inhale, pelvic floor drops. Exhale, mula bandha, pelvic floor lifts. And then you keep it there and you keep lifting the pelvic floor through your whole entire yoga practice, whether you're breathing in or out. And then maybe, if you know how to let go, it can relax when you're relaxed. But what happens to a lot of yoga women is that they forget about letting go. And when it's time to let go of baby, they have problems. And so if you are a yoga teacher and you want to get pregnant, you need to learn how to breathe the other way. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. So you can let go of baby when the time comes. Okay? But in yoga, we want the diaphragm to contract when you exhale. I'm sorry, not the diaphragm, the pelvic floor. Sorry, wrong muscle. Record again. This is what happens. Let me visually show you. This is the way the yogis recommend. Because we want to keep the energy rising up and we don't want the energy leaking out. Unless you want to have a baby, you want the energy to leak out, you can let go of baby. But most of the time, the energy is going up. Okay, so let's do like a visual. This is, again, the diaphragm. These are the organs. And this is the pelvic floor that's keeping everything inside of you. Okay, now when you inhale, the diaphragm moves down. The pelvic floor kind of opens a little bit. When you exhale, diaphragm goes back, the abs contract, so pelvic floor is pulled up. And then the muscles, again, the organs are relaxed and the diaphragm moves out of the way. So the pelvic floor, okay? Inhale. Because we want during the exhale to keep mula bandha, we want to keep the lift in the lower part of your torso. Okay. So when we are holding mula bandha, how many of you know what mula bandha is? That's lifting your pelvic floor. If you do Ashtanga Vinyasa, you will hear mula bandha. Hold the bandhas. Okay? Mula bandha is lifting and holding your pelvic floor up. And it feels like a lifting sensation here in the very base of you. Yes.
But I have this I have this feeling of pulling it up when I breathe in, not when I exhale.
Check to see what's happening in your belly because maybe you're chest breathing. Inhale. See your chest breathing. Your belly is going in when you, that's, okay? Yeah, you're doing a reverse breath. Yeah. Okay. All right. Energy level. When you breathe in, are you more energized or more calm? Energized. Did anyone else have anything different? No, good. Okay. So when you inhale, you have more energy or are you calm? Relaxing. 1 second. Yes. Yes, that's right. No, think of it this way. you're going to push a car. Okay? Your friend's car has stalled. Do you exhale first, then push? Or take a deep breath first, then exhale as you push?
I first inhale, but when I
Yes.
exhale, when I need the energy, then
You're giving the energy. First, you need to receive the energy. You receive the energy with the inhale, and you give the energy on the exhale. This is what I'm trying to say. If you blow out all your air first, then push a car, you have no energy. So you need to breathe in, that gives you the energy, and then you push the car. But in yoga, we're actually exhaling when we need a deep stretch. So if you're stretching your hamstring, you're lying on your back and you're stretching your hamstring, and you pull your leg towards you, do you do that on the exhale or the inhale? Yeah. Okay, so the exhales are relaxing and the inhales are energizing. Okay. And so when we do yoga asana, we want to make sure that we don't contradict what happens to our body. And so if the move, for example, if the move is pressing, or if the move is, uh, for example, causes you to, press your organs, for example, you will inhale. This is a little bit, let's just put belly distance. If you need to distend the belly in that move, then you will inhale. If you need to retract the belly, then you will exhale. If the move retracts the belly, you will inhale. Exhale, sorry. Okay, so let's apply this. When I do a twist, what's happening to your belly? Is it retracting or expanding? Hold your belly and twist. What's happening? It's retracting. So do we inhale or do we exhale when we twist? So that means don't contradict what your body is doing. Okay? So when we raise our arms up, inhale or exhale? If I lean to one side, inhale or exhale? Exhale. Then when I come back up, inhale or exhale? Inhale, because we're just going with what's happening in the body. Right? I'm pressing my organs. Now they're going back to relax mode. Inhale or exhale. Inhale. Okay. How about what else haven't I did? Okay. I'm here. And I'm gonna raise myself into a plank. Inhale to come up. Exhale to come down. Inhale to come up. Exhale to come down. Every time I raise myself off of gravity, I inhale. Every time I go with gravity, I exhale. Yeah. So I'm raising myself off the floor to do a bridge. Inhale or exhale? Inhale, because I'm coming off the floor and I'm in a back bend. So that's an inhale. When I come back down, it's an. Try it. It's going to help your bridge a lot. But if it's just this part of the bridge, what if I'm not lifting my chest, I'm only lifting my pelvis. I'm tilting my pelvis. Inhale or exhale? Pelvic tilt is an exhale because the diaphragm does what? It contracts. It's called the Kegel. Right? After delivering your baby, this is your best friend. Okay. Okay, so this is exhale. And now this is inhale. Okay? Because the ribs are opening and now we need to inhale. But during the scoop of the tailbone, that's an exhale. Yes. Let's make a list. Let's make a list. Okay. Or it might be in the manual. Let me check.
Definition of why on the lift we breathe in, and why on the
It's
out, like the
pretty much just applying that. So, okay, wait. This might be in here. Let me check. Oh, no, it's not. Okay. Let's just expanding on this. Everyone write this down. Talking about the shoulders. When you raise your arms up and out, you inhale. When you drop your arms, you exhale. Talking about rotation. When you external rotate your arm, you inhale. When you internal rotate your arm, you exhale. I'm just following this. Okay, talking about the chest and back bends. Coming into a back bend, you inhale. Coming out of a back bend, you exhale. Now we're talking about forward bends. Coming into a forward bend, first you inhale, and then you exhale to bend forward. Okay? Now we're talking about twists. Inhale first and exhale on the twist. Now we're talking about the pelvic floor. Every time you lift the pelvic floor, you exhale. Okay? So that means every time you scoop the tailbone, you exhale. Every time you stick the butt out, you inhale. Exhale, inhale. Because this one lifts the pelvic floor. Exhale. And this one drops it. Inhale. Okay, so it's basically just following what this is. Okay. Every time you pull out of gravity, you lift against gravity, that's an inhale. Every time you go with gravity, exhale. And that's pretty much everything. Let's have a little exercise teaching breath cueing. In Vinyasa yoga, it's important to always coach whether you're inhaling or exhaling as you're moving. Because Vinyasa means flowing movements with the breath. And if you're not coaching the breath, you can't call it Vinyasa yoga because you're not breathing. Got it? Don't call it Vinyasa yoga yet then if you're not coaching the breath. So every single movement has a breath tied to it. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, rotate to the right. Inhale, expand your torso. Exhale, drop your head to your knee. Okay, so everything has the breath. Yes. You can hold positions, but you're still... Yes, you can hold, but you're still coaching the breath. So you've got them into warrior 2. Now let's stay here for 5 breaths. Inhale. Exhale 1. So you're still coaching the breath, you're holding. But the breath focus is the foreground of your teaching, which is different than an alignment-based class where the alignment is in the foreground because we're staying there, we're not flowing, and you're just breathing normally. In Vinyasa, the teacher must guide the breath throughout, whether you're holding or whether you're flowing. Because that's the focus of the class. Right? Okay. And why? Why do we do that in Vinyasa style yoga? Why do we coach the breath the whole time? What does the breath do to your mind? It keeps it from thinking. So if I tell you, inhale, take your hands up, exhale, twist to the left, inhale, lift your chest higher, exhale, drop your head to your knee. Do you have time to think? You don't. That's the point. That's why we do Vinyasa yoga. That's why people love it so much. It clears the mind. Okay? But if you don't coach the breath, that's not happening. Okay. So let's practice breathing instruction in asana. So I'm going to have you I'm gonna have you group yourself by birthday month. Okay? All the January people find each other. All the February people find each other. Go. Okay, see, find everyone. Come on, clump together by birthday month. Go. You have 5 minutes. Stand up. It will be easier for your birthday people to find you. Yeah, I'll give you 1 more minute to find your birthday buddies. Anyone June? Raise your hand, June. There we go. See, there we go. All the June people are together. Gosh, look at that. Might have to split up some of the months. January, raise your hand. January. One person is January. Come here, sit here. Anyone else is January? Okay, sit here. You're January also? No, you're not. Okay, sit down here. February. One. Okay, come here. Join January. Okay, the winter. No one wants to have babies during the winter months. Everyone's making babies during the winter months. That's why June and July, August, there are more people. Okay. Okay. Who else is one? August. Okay, come here. Okay, there you go. What are you? Okay, fine. Come here, all of the monthless people. Okay. March, raise your hand. March. Okay, all the March people, go together. All the March people. Okay. March. April, raise your hand. May, raise your hand. Okay, you go with April. Yeah, so you're three. There's three of you. June, raise your hand. Okay. July, raise your hand. Okay, you go with March. April. You go with April. Yeah. Who else is July? Just one person? Okay. August is with me. September, raise your hand. Okay, October, raise your hand. November, raise your hand. December, raise your hand. Okay, December, you're over there. Okay, so this is what you're going to do. I'm going to give you how many groups do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 groups. Okay. So I'm going to give you a sequence to do. And you've got to figure out the inhales and exhales. Okay? So I'm not going to erase this. I'm just going to put this down. You can refer to it when you want. Okay? Yeah, if you can just shove the, I will open and then you will just put it through. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to put a combination of 5 movements. And you have to say, you got to come up with a setup cues. Okay? You're going to do the setup cues with special emphasis on the breath. So every single movement to get from this pose to this pose, you need to get the breath cue right. Okay? And then from Tadasana. Good more, you're 3.
But we should be breathing as we get into the pose, right?
The transitions, all the transitions. That's why you need to write them down. From this one, I need you to go into a side plank. Okay, so group 1. See you guys. That's your transit. So what do they need to do? They need to tell, when I do this, am I inhaling or exhaling? When I do this, am I inhaling or exhaling? And you need to do the setup. So you need to do the setup with the breath cue, breath, body part, direction. And then later, when you figure that out, I'm going to make you come up on stage and you're going to demonstrate with mirroring. Ooh. Okay? All right. That's your group. So you teach and they are the students. And yeah, all of you together. You're going to work as a team. Everyone needs to talk and everyone needs to demonstrate. So what you need to do is take turns talking, everyone demonstrate. Got it? Group 2. How many of you are there? 4? How many of you are there? 4. Yes. Okay, 5. Okay. Okay. I will give you a long break as you figure this out. Then you can go and break. Then I'll make you come back at a certain time and you better be ready. You understand? Anyway, we're not in grade school anymore. Okay? All right. 2 starts in child's pose. Child's pose to downward dog to three-legged dog to side plank to side angle. Okay? 2. Group 3, you guys. Yeah, how many of you are there? 3? Okay.
Tabletop. I think it's tabletop. Yeah. And that's the one we did before.
Tabletop to seated twist. Seated twist to Paschimottanasana, seated forward bend. Seated forward bend to boat pose. And boat pose to Purvattanasana, reverse plank. Got it? Okay.
Is forward fold? No.
This is a seated forward fold, then a boat pose, then a reverse plank. Purvattanasana. Okay? Okay. No, you're here first on hands and knees. Okay? Okay. Group 4, working with you guys. How many of you are there? 4? 3? 4. Okay, 4. I'll start you lying down. Then you're going to roll over on one side and lift one leg up and grab it. Okay? And then you're going to roll onto your belly and go into a cobra. And then from a cobra, you're going to come back down and then you're going to lift into a plank. And then from a plank, you're going to go into downward facing dog. Yes? Okay, figure that out. Group 5, half of you are asleep. Yes, that's it. Beautiful. Okay, group 5. Group 5, I'm going to start you on your knees. Okay? And then you're going to You're kneeling down, yes? You're going to go into the camel. Okay, you're going to go into the camel, and after you get yourselves into the camel, you're going to sit on your heels. This is called Vajrasana, sitting on your heels. Then from sitting on your heels, you're going to go into the frog. The frog is when you know the frog, right? In yin, okay? You're going to go into the frog. And then from a frog, you're going to lie on your belly with your feet together. Okay? And you're going to go into the cobra. Okay? Enjoy. One thing, do not copy these sequences to use for your class. They're shit. Okay? I'm making it hard for you to figure out when to inhale and exhale, okay? It's the point of this. I would not do these in real life. Okay. You guys are group 6. How many of you are there? 5? Okay. From downward dog, you're going to find a way into the dancer's pose. Okay, and after the dancer's pose, you're going to tabletop, you're going to pyramid. Footsteps forward, drop down. After pyramid, you're going to go into a standing split. Okay, and after standing split, you're going to go into a lunge position. And from a lunge position, you're going to end up in a side plank. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Group 7, who doesn't have a sequence yet? You guys. How many of you are there? 4? Where? There's 2 of you? And there's 3 of you. Raise your hand, your group. Okay, so there's 1 group. Okay, okay, and there's 2. Okay, okay. So we have 7 and 8. Group 7? Okay. Standing. I want you to get into this pose. Okay? You guys. Yeah. You're group 6. I want you from standing to get into this pose. Okay? Do the modification. Yes, Parivrita Hasta Padangustasana. And then from here, you're going into a lunge. And then from the lunge, you're going into the half moon. Okay. And from the half moon, you're going into the 3-legged dog. Okay? Okay. Group in the back. Lying on your back, you're going to hug one knee to your chest. You're going to hug one knee to your chest. And then, hugging one knee to your chest, you're going to lift the other leg up off the floor. Then after, you're going to flip over and do the cobra. And from cobra, you're going to lift into plank. Okay, let me show you how that looks. So from here, you're doing this, you're doing this, then you're flipping over, doing this, and then doing that. Okay? All right. I will give you 10 minutes, 15 minutes. 15 minutes to figure it out. And then you practice. Okay, maybe another 10 minutes to practice. So by 12:30, we will present this to the class. Again, you need to mirror and you need to do setup cues. Everyone needs to demonstrate. Everyone needs to talk.
Question. Is that the side?
That's a half moon. So from here, look at me. From here, you're coming up like that.
And it's
Okay.
stretched to the side.
Side, yeah, you're to the side.
And I'm just so sorry. I'm like learning all these names. So Tadasana, and then this one
Tadasana,
is called the
Parivrita Padahastasana. Rivrita,
Pari
Vrita Pada
Pada
Hastasana.
Hastasana.
Tasana.
Okay. And that's that hard
Yeah.
modification.